Has Allah sent this person into your life? A spiritual wake-up call made just for you, my dearest, most brothers and sisters in Islam. I invite you now, wherever you are, however you're feeling, to take a deep breath. Clear your mind. Let your heart be still for a moment. Because what I'm about to ask you is not a casual question. It's not for entertainment. It's not even just for reflection. It's something deeper, something that may stir your soul in ways you didn't expect, something that may feel uncomfortably personal, something that might just feel like a conversation between you and your Lord, disguised as a YouTube video. So here it is. Have you ever crossed paths with someone, seemingly by accident, but it didn't feel like an accident at all? You didn't plan it. You weren't looking. You were just going about your day. Maybe you were walking to work, scrolling online, sitting in a masjid, lost in thought, or just moving through your routine. And suddenly someone appeared. No big entrance, no warning, no reason for you to notice them. But something about that meeting felt different. It wasn't loud, but it was significant. It wasn't dramatic, but it was unforgettable. It felt like a pause in your timeline. Like Allah had reached into your story and added a new character, with wisdom only He could understand. And here's the strangest part. Even though you had never met them before, they felt familiar, comforting, safe. Their words touched something in you that had been quiet for so long. Their presence gave you a peace you didn't know you were craving. And deep within you, a whisper stirred. One you may not have said out loud. One that maybe came through tears or through a sujood heavy with emotion. Ya Allah, did you send this person to me? If that moment has ever touched your heart, even once, then my beloved sibling in faith, know this. This video, this exact moment you're in right now, is for you. Not for the algorithm, not for someone else, not just a general reminder, but for you. Yes, you, the one who's watching with an open heart. Maybe you're confused. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're hoping for clarity, for healing, for an answer that finally makes sense. Or maybe you didn't even know you needed this. You might be wondering, is this really for me? Let me assure you, you didn't click this by chance. You didn't hear these words by coincidence. You didn't arrive here randomly. Allah does not do random. Every moment in your life, even this very second, is under His control. Every heartbeat, every breath, every video you stumble upon. So if you're here, it's because Allah wanted you to be here. Because this message, this journey, has something meant specifically for your heart. And that person you're thinking of right now, the one who entered your life in an unexpected but unforgettable way, the one whose presence made you question if this was just coincidence or something much more divine. That question in your heart, was this from you, O Allah, might just be answered today. This video is not just about romance. It's not just about emotions. It's about something far greater. It's about Qadr. It's about the way Allah crafts our paths, the way He writes souls into our stories, not randomly, but purposefully. Sometimes He sends someone to be a blessing, sometimes a lesson, sometimes a mirror, sometimes a test, sometimes an answer. Sometimes that person is the light in your darkness, the calm in your storm, the one whose presence reminds you, Allah has not forgotten me. So stay with me. This isn't just a script. It's not just a talk. It's a walk, a soul-level journey. A journey into understanding how Allah connects hearts, how He places people into our lives with perfect timing, perfect wisdom, perfect care. And maybe, just maybe, this video is a sign from Him to you. Is it really a coincidence? Or is it a divine encounter? Reflect deeper. This moment might be more than you think, my dear brother, my dear sister. Let's pause for a moment and open our hearts to a truth that is often forgotten in the rush of daily life. In this enormous, vast, and intricate universe, a universe filled with galaxies we haven't even discovered yet, stars beyond our comprehension, and events unfolding every second in every corner of the globe. Do you truly believe that anything happens without purpose? Do you really think that a single moment of real connection, a meeting so impactful that it shifts your heart, is just a fluke, just coincidence, just random? No, not at all. And deep down, you already know that. Let me remind you of something so beautiful and powerful from our Deen. Allah, the all-knowing, the all-wise, tells us through His book and through His messenger that nothing, absolutely nothing, happens without His will. Not a leaf falls from a tree in the middle of a hidden forest that no eye has seen, except that Allah is aware of it. Not a breath escapes your lungs. Not a tear slips from your eye in the darkest hour of the night. Not a single heartbeat occurs without His permission. He knows, He sees, He wills. And so, when someone enters your life, someone whose timing feels strangely perfect, whose presence seems too precise to ignore, that is not a coincidence. That is Qadr. That is divine design. Allah says in the Quran, "And with Him are the keys of the unseen. None knows them except Him." Surah Al-An'am 6:59. Reflect on that ayah, even for a moment. Everything you don't see, everything you don't understand, every question you've whispered in frustration or loneliness, Allah knows. He knows what's hidden. He knows what's to come. He knows what your heart longs for, even when you yourself can't put it into words. So think about it. Really think. You weren't searching for anything in particular. You weren't expecting a shift in your life. You may have even been quietly struggling. Maybe your soul felt tired. Maybe you were asking Allah for something, some relief, some direction, some peace. And then, out of nowhere, they came, that person. No dramatic entrance, no sign saying, "Here is your answer." Just presence. And somehow, their words matched your wounds. Their smile matched your sadness. Their advice came at the exact moment you were ready to give up. Their voice felt like something you were always meant to hear. That's not random. That's not luck. That's Allah answering your dua. The dua you may have made months ago, or years ago, or maybe the one you made without words, just through tears on your pillow. That's not coincidence, dear soul. That's mercy. That's love. That's divine planning. That is Allah reminding you that He is always listening, even when the world is silent. Even when you forget your own words, Allah doesn't. Why does this connection feel different? There's something your soul is trying to tell you. Now let's be honest. You've met people before. We all do. Classmates, co-workers, neighbors, online acquaintances. We interact, we smile politely, we exchange greetings, and then we move on. But this time, it's not like that, is it? This time, it feels different. And you're not sure why. There's something about this person that doesn't just attract your eyes, It calms your heart. There's no pressure, no chaos, no confusion, just a quiet sense of comfort that you didn't even know you were looking for. Even if you just met them, even if it's only been a few conversations, even if logic tells you you're overthinking this, your heart, your soul says otherwise. And that, my dear brother, my dear sister, is something so powerful in our deen that we often overlook. Sometimes your soul recognizes something your mind hasn't fully processed. Because your soul, it was created by Allah. It remembers things you don't. It feels things you can't explain. And when Allah connects two souls, there's wisdom behind it. Allah doesn't place people in your path without meaning. He doesn't knit lives together haphazardly. He doesn't allow hearts to lean toward each other unless there's a reason, a lesson, or a mercy in it. Every meeting has a purpose. Every bond has a reason. Every connection, even if temporary, carries within it a message from the divine. So maybe this person was sent to remind you of something you forgot. Maybe they came to soften your heart again. Maybe they're here to guide you back to Allah. Or maybe, just maybe, they're part of a bigger plan you haven't seen yet. A plan filled with Qadr, healing, and the kind of love that leads you closer to Jannah. So honor the feeling. Reflect on it. Ask Allah about it. Because nothing is random when it comes from the one who knows everything. The subtle signs of Allah's perfect plan. Look closer. The details of your life are not random. Let's take a moment here, a sacred pause in the middle of your day, a moment to breathe, to reflect, to look at your life not just as a string of events, but as something far deeper, something beautifully, intentionally crafted. Have you ever lived through an experience that felt so small when it happened, but when you looked back, you realized it changed everything? Maybe it was just a smile from a stranger in a hallway. In the middle of a day you were barely holding it together. Maybe it was a message online, short, but somehow it spoke to a wound in you that no one else had ever seen. Maybe it was a conversation, one you weren't supposed to have, one that happened when you were ready to give up. And it reminded you that hope still exists, that people still care, that Allah still sends mercy, even in the form of a few words from someone unexpected. Maybe it was a small moment, so simple, so ordinary, but something inside you whispered, this meant something. This wasn't random. This was from Allah. We live most of our lives rushing. We wake up, work, move, scroll, sleep. And in all of that, we barely notice how precisely life unfolds around us. But when you really stop, when you really pay attention, you begin to see the subtle signs of Allah's perfect planning. You begin to remember that Allah is Al-Latif, the one who is subtle and gentle in his ways. He doesn't always send signs with thunder or lightning. Sometimes he sends them through soft moments, moments that pass quietly, but echo in your soul for years. A chance encounter that shifted your entire path. A text message that stopped you from making a painful choice. A face you didn't expect to see that became a comfort you didn't know you needed. Let me remind you of a powerful truth from the Quran. They plan and Allah plans. And Allah is the best of planners. Surah Al-Anfal 8:30. Reflect on this. People plan. You plan. You hope. You dream. You prepare. You try to shape your life with your own hands. But sometimes, no matter how much effort you put in, things don't go your way. And then Something you never expected happens. Someone you never imagined shows up. Some shift begins. And deep down, you know, this is not my plan. This is His. Allah's plan is flawless. It is higher, wiser, and far more merciful than anything we could create for ourselves. And it is unfolding right now in your life, even if you don't see it yet. That stranger who made you feel seen on a day when you felt invisible? That friend who reached out exactly when you needed them without knowing why? That reminder that arrived just when you were about to break? None of these were accidents. They are threads, beautiful, divine threads, in a tapestry you don't yet understand. But Allah sees it. He is weaving every person, every moment, every emotion into something meaningful. You see, not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some people come like a breeze, soft, quick, gone before you grasp what they meant. Others come like rain, gentle, steady, healing your parched soul drop by drop. And others still come like a mirror, to show you what you couldn't see in yourself, to challenge you, to awaken you, to break something, only so it can be rebuilt stronger. Sometimes Allah sends a person as a reminder to return to your prayers, to pick up the Quran again, to soften a hardened heart. Sometimes He sends a person as a lesson to teach you what you deserve, to teach you patience, to show you what true love or sacrifice really looks like. And sometimes, sometimes, He sends someone as a gift, not wrapped in perfection, not announced with signs, but carrying with them the mercy you once begged for, the safety you once cried for, the love you didn't think existed, but He had been preparing it for you all along. Maybe you made dua years ago. Maybe it was at tahajjud, with tears soaking your prayer mat. Maybe it was a dua so emotional that words failed you, and all you could say was, Ya Allah, help me. Send me someone. Show me something. And you forgot. But Allah didn't. He never forgets a tear, never ignores a whisper, never misplaces a request, no matter how quietly it was made. And now, that person may have entered your life, and you don't understand why. You can't make sense of it. But your soul is stirring. Your heart is softening. Your faith is returning. And here's what you must remember. Even if that person doesn't stay, even if their role was brief, even if things didn't unfold the way you imagined, they were never purposeless. Because in the design of Allah, nothing is wasted. They came to awaken, to guide, to heal, to shake you out of your spiritual sleep, to pull you back to dua, to pull you back to Him, so the next time you meet someone who shifts something inside you, someone who brings you peace in the middle of your chaos, someone who makes you think about Allah more than you think about them. Don't call it luck. Don't call it a coincidence. Call it what it is. Divine planning. Because with Allah, every person, every moment, every feeling is placed in your life on purpose. Do you feel the peace, that certainty? This feeling isn't ordinary. It's from Allah. Now tell me honestly, have you ever felt a deep, unexplainable calm when you're around someone? Even if you barely know them, even when things on the surface don't fully make sense, it's like your heart is no longer racing. It's at ease. Your thoughts may still be swirling, but your soul is whispering, this is right, this is good, this is from Allah. You can't always explain it, but it's there. And in our fast-paced world, filled with noise and distractions, we often ignore that whisper from our fitrah, the part of us that's closest to Allah. But maybe, just maybe, you need to listen this time. This isn't infatuation. This isn't fantasy. This isn't some storybook illusion. It's divine alignment. A moment where your soul and Allah's Qadr are finally in sync, and you feel it. Not in your head, but in your heart. You don't need to broadcast it. You don't need someone to validate your feelings. You don't need proof, because Allah places the knowing deep within your soul. And when He gives you peace about someone or something, that peace is more truthful than any external sign. That's why the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to ask for clarity in the form of peace. That calmness you feel in your chest, that certainty that settles in your heart, that's a gift from your Rab. Don't ignore it. The journey was meant to lead you here. Every step, every struggle, was preparing you now. Let's zoom out for a second. Think about your life up until now. The heartbreaks you thought you'd never recover from. The delays that made you cry in sujud. The rejections, the closed doors. The long nights where you felt so alone. Do you really think all of that was for nothing? Do you really believe Allah made you go through all that pain, all that growth, all that waiting? Just because? Absolutely not. Every hardship was preparation. Every delay was protection. Every unanswered dua was really a postponed mercy. And now, maybe now, you're beginning to see it. Maybe this person who just entered your life, or has been in it quietly, is the one Allah preserved just for you. Maybe they are the reflection of all the things you asked for, all the qualities you longed for, all the prayers you once made with trembling hands and a hopeful heart. Maybe this is the answer. Maybe this is the reward. Maybe this is the beginning of something your heart has been quietly waiting for all along. So take a moment and ask yourself honestly, could this person be the mercy I begged for when I was broken? Could this connection be part of Allah's plan to heal me, guide me, and elevate me? Could this be the fulfillment of a dua I made so long ago? I forgot about it, but Allah never did, because your Rab never forgets. Not your tears, not your prayers, not your quiet hopes. And now, He might just be unfolding a chapter of your story that reminds you how seen, how heard, and how deeply loved you truly are by Him. P. This is the beginning of your dua, being answered a whisper from the divine to a soul that's been waiting, dear soul, who's watching, listening, feeling. Can I ask you to pause with me for just a few more moments, not to scroll, not to rush, but to breathe, to feel, to let your heart listen. Because maybe, just maybe, this video isn't just content. Maybe it's not just a coincidence you ended up here today. Maybe this exact moment, this exact message, this exact reminder is part of something bigger than you imagined. Have you ever considered the idea that what you've been waiting for, crying for, yearning for, making dua for, might already be unfolding around you? Not in a way that's loud or dramatic, not with flashing signs and booming answers, but with quiet grace, with a subtle ease, with a gentle, sacred flow, the way only Allah writes stories. You see, we expect the signs of Allah to arrive like miracles in the movies. Lightning strikes, sudden clarity, the dramatic moment of realization. But in reality, Allah's most powerful signs are the most gentle. They come like rain, soft, steady, nourishing. They come like light, not blinding, but comforting. They come in the form of a person, perhaps, not just anyone. but someone whose very presence eases your soul. Someone who doesn't need to say grand things, because their being in your life is the message. Someone whose way of being, their calmness, their gentleness, their words, echoes the du'as you once whispered to Allah when no one else could hear. Maybe they don't even know the role they're playing in your story. Maybe they don't realize they're answering a prayer. But your heart knows. Your soul feels it. There's a strange sense of home when they're near. And you ask yourself, why do I feel so much peace with them? Why does it feel like I've known them longer than I have? Why does my heart quiet down instead of race in anxiety when I think of them? That's not infatuation. That's not fantasy. That's not coincidence. That is divine alignment. That is the way Allah crafts connections. So listen to your heart, the fitrah that Allah created within you. When it feels peace, when it whispers, this feels right, don't dismiss that. That feeling, that stillness, is one of the clearest signs from your Rabb. And maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of your dua being answered. Not in a rush, not all at once, but step by step, softly, patiently, as only Allah knows how to unfold it. And if your heart is stirred right now, if you feel like this video is speaking directly to you, that's not by accident either. That's a sign. A quiet nudge from your Lord, who sees you, hears you, and never forgets you. I've heard you. I've always been listening. Allah, in every moment you've turned to Him. Impatience, the test before discovering destiny. What feels like a delay may be the exact time Allah has chosen for you. Let's be honest for a moment. Waiting is hard, excruciating at times. It pulls on your heart. It tests your hope. It makes you question your worth, your path, and sometimes, if you're being honest, your trust in Allah's plan. Maybe you've asked, why hasn't it happened yet? Why is everyone else moving forward and I'm stuck? Why does it feel like the more I do things the right way, the harder it gets? And these questions, they're real. They don't make you weak. They don't make you sinful. They make you human. They make you sincere. But here's what you need to know and hold on to tightly. When Allah makes you wait, He is not punishing you. He is preparing you. Every single delay, every closed door, every moment of silence is part of a beautiful, divine strategy that is molding you into the person who is ready to receive what's coming. In our deen, patience, sabr, is not just about sitting still. It's not about gritting your teeth and waiting in misery. It's about trust. It's about standing tall in your faith even when the winds of uncertainty shake everything around you. It's about believing in Allah's wisdom when your own vision is blurred. It's about knowing that your Rabb has not forgotten you. Allah says in the Quran, indeed with hardship comes ease. Surah Ash-Shar 94:6. He didn't say after hardship. He said with it, which means even in this exact moment of waiting, struggling, questioning, ease is already being written for you. You just haven't seen the full picture yet. So every time your heart aches with longing, every time you feel like giving up, remember this: you're not just being delayed, you're being developed. You're not being overlooked, you're being protected. You're not stuck, you're in the middle of becoming. And when it finally happens, when Allah's timing arrives and the path becomes clear and the person meant for you appears, you'll look back and say, Subhanallah, this was worth it. every single second was worth it. Because sometimes the one you're praying for is also praying for you. They too are being shaped. They're learning lessons. They're healing wounds. They're walking their own journey. So that when your paths meet, it's not rushed. It's not broken. It's whole. It's peaceful. It's right. So instead of asking, when? Start asking, what is Allah teaching me through this wait? This season of patience, this chapter that feels so long, may actually be the most important part of your story. It's where you grow into the person who can receive and nurture the blessing you've been asking for. Because Allah doesn't just want to give you what you want. He wants to give it to you when you're ready to honor it, protect it, and be grateful for it. So be patient, be hopeful, keep praying, keep trusting, and one day, maybe soon, maybe quietly, you'll find yourself living in a dua you once made. And you'll smile through tears and whisper, Alhamdulillah, it was all worth it. The feeling of comfort and serenity. The Baraka of the meeting. How you know Allah has placed this person in your life. Bismillah. There's something so powerful, so sacred, about the kind of meeting that brings Baraka, blessing, into your life. And yet, it's not something flashy. It doesn't shout. It doesn't make headlines. In fact, if you weren't paying attention, you might miss it entirely. It's quiet. It's calm. It's the type of moment that feels like a whisper from the divine. You see, when Allah sends someone into your life with Baraka, it doesn't feel rushed or overwhelming. It doesn't demand constant attention or validation. It doesn't pressure you, confuse you, or fill you with fear. Instead, it brings you something that the world rarely gives: peace. Not because the person is perfect, not because the situation is flawless, but because something in your soul whispers, I can breathe here. I can be myself here. I can heal here. You don't feel like you need to shrink to be loved. You don't feel like you have to explain every corner of your past. You don't feel judged for your scars or your struggles. Instead, you feel seen, heard, accepted, even on the days when you're at your worst, even when your heart feels heavy or your faith feels weak. That serenity you feel, that quiet safety, it's not from the person, it's from Allah. He places that Baraka in the hearts of people who are meant to walk together, not just in life, but in faith. It's a sacred calm, a tranquility that can't be manufactured by words or forced by effort. It simply exists. And it feels like your soul is being cradled by mercy. It's as if Allah is saying, this person is not here just for your moments of joy. They're here for your journey. They're here to walk beside you, to remind you of me, to help you grow, not just as a person, but as a believer. In a relationship filled with Baraka, you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to hide your wounds or pretend you've figured everything out. You don't have to perform to be worthy of love. Instead, both of you come forward, not with perfection, but with sincerity. You say to each other, these are my scars. This is what I'm still healing from. Can we walk this road together toward Allah? Because that's what real love looks like in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad taught us that the best relationships are not built on fleeting chemistry or shallow charm. They're built on deen, on character, on taqwa, on sincerity, on a shared mission to please Allah, not just each other. So ask yourself, do I feel more at peace when I speak to this person? Do I feel like my iman is stronger around them? Do I feel inspired to pray more, to grow more, to become more? If your answer is yes, if your heart is calmer, not more chaotic, if you feel drawn toward Allah rather than distracted from Him, then pause and say, Alhamdulillah, because that is Baraka. And Baraka is never random. It is a divine gift. Protect it, honor it, cherish it, not through obsession or possession, but through dua, through patience, through sincerity, through asking Allah to make this connection one that leads you not just through this dunya, but toward Jannah. Because when Allah places someone in your life, truly places them, it's not just to make you smile, it's to help you walk closer to Him together. The crucial moment when you realize it's him, it's her, not just a person, a sign from Allah. There comes a moment in life that's hard to describe. It's not loud. It doesn't come with bright lights or dramatic music. In fact, it often arrives so gently that you almost miss it. But something inside you shifts, and you realize, maybe for the first time, it's him, it's her. Not out of fantasy, not out of desperation, but out of a deep, sacred knowing. You can't explain how it happened. You don't even remember the exact moment. But you look at them and realize, this person isn't passing through. They're meant to stay. It's not infatuation. It's not some romanticized version of love. It's not butterflies in your stomach or sparks flying. It's a deep stillness, a kind of spiritual click, a quiet conviction that whispers, I want to walk with this person, not just in this world, but toward the next. This moment of realization doesn't always come through grand conversations or big declarations. Sometimes it comes in silence, in a glance, in the way they ask, did you pray today? In how they hold space for your pain, even when you don't have the words, in the softness of their character, in the sincerity of their intentions, and you begin to see them differently. You don't just see someone to marry. You see a companion in faith, a person who supports your growth, a soul that reflects your deepest du'as. Maybe they are the exact traits you begged Allah for. Maybe they're the healing you never thought you deserved. Maybe they're the quiet mercy Allah kept hidden for you until the perfect time. And when it hits you, when you know, it's not with a scream. It's with a sigh of relief. It's with a whisper in your heart that says, this is Qadr. You won't feel the need to chase. You won't feel the urge to prove yourself. You'll feel seen. You'll feel safe. You'll feel a kind of love that brings you closer to Allah, not further from Him. Not everyone will understand. Some may question. Some may doubt. But you'll know because Allah put that knowing in your chest. This person may not be flawless, but you don't need perfection. You need purpose. You need someone who can walk with you through the trials, the growth, the worship, the healing. Someone who doesn't just stand beside you, but walks with you toward Allah, toward forgiveness, toward Jannah. So when that realization comes, hold it with humility, honor it with dua, protect it with sincerity. Because when Allah gives you someone like that, someone who is not just a partner, but a mirror, a mercy, a reflection of His love for you, you're not just being loved by a human. You're being reminded that your Lord has always heard you. Trust in Allah. Don't force what was never meant. Letting go of what's not written. Embracing what's divinely meant. Bismillah. In this journey of life, and especially in the journey of love, one of the most profound and necessary lessons a believing heart can learn is this: Don't force what is not written for you, no matter how much you desire it, no matter how deeply your heart longs for it, no matter how beautifully it seemed to start. Because sometimes what we think is right for us, what we try so hard to hold on to, what we fight to make fit into our story, was never ours to begin with. We live in a world that teaches us to chase what we want, to go get it, to make it happen. But Islam, our beautiful, balanced deen, teaches something radically different. Strive with wisdom, seek with sincerity, but surrender the outcome entirely to Allah. Because what is meant for you will come to you. It will flow toward you. It will feel like something your soul can finally rest in. And what is not meant for you, no matter how much you chase, no matter how much you cry, no matter how hard you try, it will slip away. Not as a punishment, but as a protection. Maybe you met someone and everything felt right in the beginning. You laughed, you connected, you felt something real. So you prayed, you hoped, you asked, Ya Allah, is this the one? But then things got confusing, heavy. Doors started closing. Peace began to fade. And in your heart, even if you didn't want to admit it, you felt it. Something's not right. That is also a sign. That silence, that hesitation, that disconnection. It's not a coincidence. It's a message from the one who knows what you don't, from the one who sees the entire road ahead, from the one who is not just the knower of the unseen, but the protector of your heart. Islam teaches us a beautiful balance. Yes, act. Yes, seek. Yes, pray and plan and take steps. But never attach your heart to the outcome, because it's not your effort that secures your destiny. It's not your emotions that determine what's meant for you. It's Allah's Qadr. What is meant for you will never miss you. What misses you was never meant for you. This isn't just a comforting phrase. It's a principle of faith, a truth to carry when the nights get long and the waiting gets heavy. Sometimes the delay is not a denial. It's a redirection. Sometimes the no is actually a louder yes, a yes to something better, something more aligned, something your soul will recognize when the time is right. It hurts, yes, to want something so deeply and watch it drift away, to imagine a future that never happens, to give your heart, your hopes, your du'as, and then be told, this is not for you. But dear soul, remember this. Allah never takes without giving. He never withholds without reason. He never says, not this, unless he is also saying, wait, for something better. So if something feels forced, if the puzzle pieces never seem to align, if you find yourself constantly doubting, hurting, waiting without peace, then step back, not in despair, but in faith. Because what is written for you by Allah will come with ease, not confusion. It will come with clarity, not chaos. It will come with Baraka, not burden. And here's the beauty. The right person, the one truly written for you, won't need to be convinced. They will see your worth. They will honor your journey. They will match your pace and your principles. And above all, they will walk with you toward Allah, not away from Him. So hold tightly to this truth. Your heart is safest in the hands of the one who created it. Let go of the idea that love means clinging. Let go of the fear that if you release your grip, you'll lose everything. Let go of the desperation that whispers, if I don't make this work, I'll never be happy. Instead, open your hands, open your heart, open your soul, and say to Allah, Ya Rab, I trust you. I trust your plan. I trust that you know what I don't. I trust that what you've written for me is not just better. It's perfectly timed. perfectly placed, and perfectly mine. Because what's meant doesn't need to be forced. It flows. It flows with Baraka, with mutual effort, with ease in communication, with stillness in the heart, with a sacred peace that only Allah can place between two souls. And one day, perhaps sooner than you think, you'll look back at everything that didn't work out. All the delays, all the rejections, all the unanswered du'as, and with tears in your eyes and joy in your heart, you'll say, Subhanallah. That's why it didn't work. That's why Allah made me wait. That's why this is the one that feels right. And you'll know it wasn't a loss. It was preparation. It wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Because when you stop chasing and start trusting, you begin to walk in harmony with Qadr. And in that surrender, in that peaceful acceptance of Allah's plan, you'll find a contentment no person could ever offer. This is what it means to trust Allah. This is what it means to wait for love that's written. This is what it means to walk with saber and certainty toward what is meant. Marriage, a blessing and a responsibility. In Islam, marriage is not just about companionship. It's a sacred trust, a spiritual partnership. It's not just about being in love. It's about being in purpose, together. When Allah places someone in your heart, He's not simply giving you someone to hold. He's giving you someone to grow with, to elevate in faith with, to walk the path toward Him with. Marriage isn't about completing each other. It's about completing the deen together. It's about standing side by side in sujood. It's about helping each other rise when one falls. It's about facing this world with your eyes on the next. And yes, there will be challenges. There will be tests. There will be moments where your ego says, "Is it worth it?" But your soul will whisper, "This is worship." You see, marriage isn't just a bond of love. It's a bond of accountability, a covenant witnessed by Allah. When you take someone's hand, you're not just saying, "I do." You're saying, "I will strive. I will protect. I will be patient. And I will love you for the sake of Allah." That love isn't fleeting, it's intentional, rooted in sacrifice, watered by mercy, and guided by the Quran and Sunnah. Qul of the soul marriage in Islam, a journey of the heart, a training of the soul. Let's take a step back now and look at marriage not through the lens of the world, but through the eyes of the soul. In Islam, marriage is not just a social contract or romantic partnership. It is a school, a sanctuary, a sacred institution designed by the one who created hearts to refine and uplift them. It's a place where two souls are not only united, but refined, tested, and elevated together. Every disagreement, not just an argument, but a test of your saber. Every act of kindness, not just courtesy, but an act of ibadah, worship in the eyes of your Creator. Every shared glance before prayer, every hand held in dua, every "I forgive you" whispered, even when it's hard. These are not small things. These are seeds of Jannah being planted in your life. In this union, you begin to learn things no textbook could ever teach you. You learn saber, real patience, not just waiting in silence, but holding space for each other's growth. You learn rahmah, mercy in moments when justice might seem more fair. You learn tawakkul, complete reliance on Allah, especially when your own strength falters. And through all this, you come to understand that love, true love, isn't built on grand declarations, lavish gifts, or poetic speeches. It's built in the quiet, in the simple. In the small, consistent acts that say, I am with you, I am for you, and I want to walk with you toward Allah. This is why Islam treats marriage with such weight and care, because it's not just about two people finding happiness. It's about two hearts becoming a mirror for each other's souls, helping one another reach the pleasure of Allah together. It's not just a worldly relationship. It's a bridge to the Akhirah. And when two people remember that, everything becomes ibadah. Everything becomes light. A final reminder your soul knows when it hears truth. So now, my dear brother, my dear sister, if you've been watching and listening with your heart and something inside you stirred, even slightly, then maybe, just maybe, you've already begun the journey. You're not here by accident. You're here because something in these words mirrored a longing deep inside of you. Maybe as you listened, a certain person came to mind, or a memory, or a prayer you whispered on a night you thought Allah didn't hear. Maybe your soul recognized something today. A gentle nudge, a whisper, a reminder that what you're seeking, love, peace, companionship, purpose, is already being written by the one who knows your heart better than you do. So don't rush past this moment. Don't scroll away without reflecting. Take a breath. Be still. And just ask, Ya Allah, is this from you? Because sometimes the smallest stirrings in our heart are the loudest signs from the divine. They may not come with clarity at first, but they come with calm. They come with that deep sense of I'm being guided. And in that stillness, you will find trust. Not because you see the whole path, but because you know who is guiding your steps. If this video stirred something in you, don't leave with just emotions. Leave with intention. Maybe you didn't expect this video to impact you. Maybe you just clicked out of curiosity, or boredom, or routine. But now, here you are, still listening, still feeling, still thinking about something that's bigger than you. Maybe it awakened a long-lost hope, a forgotten dua, a person you're not sure about, but your heart can't ignore. And if that happened, Alhamdulillah, because it means you're alive. Your heart is still soft. Your soul is still listening. So, please, don't walk away empty-handed. If these words moved you, take a moment to respond. Like this video. Not for the numbers, but to say, this touched me. Share it with someone who might need this exact message. Subscribe for more reminders, not just for knowledge, but for spiritual nourishment. But most importantly, turn to Allah in prayer, in sujood, in silence. Ask Him to guide your steps. Ask Him to clarify your path. Ask Him to send you what your soul is truly ready for. Because what you seek, the peace, the companionship, the clarity, the love, it's already in the hands of the one who knows your heart. And when the time is right, when your soul has been prepared, when your path aligns with Qadr, He will place it in your life, gently, perfectly, without force, with Baraka. And when that day comes, you'll look back on this moment and smile through tears and say, this was the beginning, and I didn't even know it.